Hey everyone, it's Richard here. Around about 3 years ago, me and my wife decided to declutter our lives, and along the way we've learned a whole lot of lessons about how to minimize. We moved from a 4-bedroom house into a 3-bedroom flat. We took our family, which is a family of 5, and we ended up over 3 years getting rid of probably around about 60 to 65% of everything that we've owned. Along the way we learned a whole lot of lessons, and so I'd just love to take some time to share with you some of the lessons we've learned that I think could help you and help you be able to find more space in your life, space to breathe and just space to begin to be. So across the UK, some studies have been done into us looking at how much we own, and some interesting statistics have come out. One of them that really fascinated me was, if you took every pair of unused shoes in UK households and you put them heel to toe, you could make a ring all the way around the equator. The average Brit has 53 items of unused clothing and at least 36 unopened DVDs within their household. If you took unused sporting equipment, the average Brit has between £1,500 and £3,500 of unused sports equipment in their house. All of these statistics would point to the same thing, is we have a lot of things filling up our lives, both metaphorically and both physically, in the spaces that we live. And it's not that we're hoarders, I found this to be true for me. It's not that I'm a hoarder, it's not that I had piles of magazines and piles of newspapers and I couldn't get rid of anything. It was just that I became a hoarder of certain things. Clutter has a great ability to be able to steal away our intentionality and our purpose. Clutter just gets in the way of us really living our lives with purpose, because we spend all of our time having to attend to the clutter, look after the clutter, make sure that all of the clutter that we have is being cleaned and dusted, and it ends up stealing away time that we could use to really live out the purpose of our life. Instead of just taking time to set out and organize everything we had, we really realized we needed to minimize. You see, organizing is us simply just trying to pack away our stuff better, while minimizing is us trying to reduce the amount of stuff that we have. I have 5 tips for you to help you begin to think about your minimizing journey. The first one is, begin to work out the why you want to minimize. This is so important. Me and my wife spent months speaking around minimizing and decluttering and getting rid of everything, and really beginning to understand why it was that we wanted to do that. You see, once you know the why of the minimizing, once you know why you want to minimize, it's going to be what helps you to stick to it when things become really hard. 2 or 3 years in, when your spaces feel like they're starting to fill up again, you can always come back to the why and go, this is why we set out to do it. The second tip is, pick one room and start with that room. For us, it was the living room. We wanted to declutter our living room to see what kind of impact it would have. And so we spent a couple of weekends packing everything away that was inside of it, moving everything out, rearranging the furniture. And it became one of the most favorite rooms we had. And once we realized the benefits of doing that, it became a lot easier to do all of the other rooms. And so I'd really encourage you, only pick one room and start with that. Don't try and say we're going to declutter our whole house or a whole flat. Just start with one room and really focus onto that. The third tip I have is, don't throw stuff away. This may sound counterintuitive, but rather just pack it away. If you've got some space, it could be in a hallway, it could be in another room, it could just be even in the corner of the room. Take everything that you want to get rid of from that room, everything that you go, it's no longer needed. Put it into a box and leave it there. And if over the space of a month or 2 you find yourself having to go and get it out of a box, then you know that it's something you really need to keep. But if you don't, then you know actually that item or those items in the box have no value to you and will make it easier to get rid of. This was one of the big things for me that was a big barrier initially to me being able to minimize. This idea that what happens if I throw away something that I'm going to have to rebuy. Now there have been some mistakes made in that, and I have gotten rid of things and then gone, now I need to go to the shop and spend more money and get them again. But ultimately, once we started to really get into the habit of minimizing, what we had was a things to get rid of type box where we would put things out and then return to them if we needed to. But after a month or so, if we hadn't needed that item or made use of that item, we would go and get rid of it. Fourth tip I have is pile things up. Mary Kondo speaks about this, but piling things up in like categories will really begin to show to you how much of the same things you have. You could go right now, open up your closet, take out all of the shoes and pile them up, and you'll begin to look and go, wow, I've got maybe more shoes than I need. Now, I don't believe there are any magic numbers that you need to follow to this is the correct pair of shoes or this is how many jackets you should have. Rather, what I think there is simply you being able to go out, have a look and go, do I have more than I need in this category? Or is there so many things here that I'm never going to wear them? Or actually, do I have exactly what I need? And here's the fifth tip I have for you. Get a minimizing soundtrack. Get some music that you play while you're busy doing this. I normally found for me music is a great trigger to help me get back into a headspace that I've been before. And if you can get a great minimizing soundtrack, when you go and minimize and you need to minimize, or maybe it's a couple of months later and you're looking around and thinking things are getting really cluttered up again, I can put on that soundtrack. It takes me straight back into the headspace I need to be into, and I can get right back in to being able to get into the groove of it. So I'd encourage you, take these 5 tips, start with number 1 and begin to really wrestle through, why do I want to declutter? Why do I want to minimize? Look forward to seeing you again. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.